everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I'm gonna do a book review, which this is probably the first in a very long time since I am trying to do a video book review, but I'm gonna give it a go and see what this ends up being, because I haven't really thought this too much through, because I wanted it to be good and flowing. So yeah, without further ramblings, the book that I want to talk about is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I have so many thoughts about this. So this book follows Mary Catherine and her sister Constance. They live together in this Blackwood mansion that is surrounded by gardens, and they live together with their wheelchair bound uncle. They have basically no connection with the outside world, and this house has sort of become their prison, and you eventually find out that the reason they are so distanced from the rest of the town is because their entire family was poisoned by arsenic and they died, and the only ones remaining in the family is these three characters. The older sister Constance, who is 28 years old when this book is following them, she was accused of murdering her family through the arsenic, putting the arsenic in the sugar. She was later acquitted, but the entire town is convinced that she was behind it. Because of this fact, there's this distance between the three of them and the rest of the town. So the book opens with something changing within this house and this sort of the safe haven that they have created over a long period of time. So they've been in this sort of isolation for 6 years, and one of their cousins, Charles, comes to them and is sort of shaking up their world that they've created. Because people are so afraid of them, they don't really cross the boundaries of their land, and this book deals with fear in multiple ways. So partly the book deals with the town's fear of Constance and her sister, but mostly Constance. How fear can so easily be spread so quickly from one person to another, how it can sort of infect people, how it can work as a plague. Mary Catherine is the main source of this fear within the house. She talks about doing things within the house to protect the house from other people, from intruders. She seems almost superstitious in her way of thinking. A lot of these actions that she does, she has the talismans in the garden. She creates boundaries within the house. She avoids certain things and crosses the street in certain ways to keep her safe. So she has sort of these habits that as long as she stays within the line, and as long as she does everything the same way every day, she feels like everything will be alright. And there's this, because of she has created these habits and all of these superstitions herself, so there's no outside logic to them. She has created them and then put weight into them and importance into them. And Constance is just looking on these things happening. A lot of the time with reading this book, you wonder why Constance isn't challenging the way Mary Catherine thinks. Mary Catherine she's 18 years old, but you don't really feel that because of the fact that a lot of her actions and behaviors and way of thinking about the world is very immature. She lacks morality like a child, so she will think horrible things about people and wish them to be dead, wish people to disappear when they create a problem. It's not necessarily that no one in the world, no adult in the world will have horrible thoughts, but there is this lack of inner morality, so that she thinks these things unchecked. She has no moral police in her head. She has spiraled into this darkness. Fear is explored in her and through her, and how a lot of her choices and ways of thinking is fueled by fear. The other part of this novel that I really loved is the way that Shirley Jackson explores the group dynamic. She talks about the way a group of people all individual people, but together they create this unity and they move like one, and how they can affect each other and work and become this mob. There's this scene in the book that they start throwing stones at the house, and they are laughing while they're doing this, and they seem to all have simultaneously gone insane. There's so much tension in the book, and tension between the trio of Blackwoods and the town, that this tension has been so pulled so tightly that it finally snaps. The scene is very reminiscent for me with The Lottery, one of Jackson's most popular short stories. And I feel like a lot of the ideas of The Lottery and the atmosphere and the things that she deals with in the short story is at the core of this book, and is more developed because it's a full novel. And it is so wonderfully written and so wonderfully dealt with through the entire book. And there's still, because of the fact that you see all of these things from Mary Catherine's perspective, you get an incomplete picture, and you have to sort of fill in some of the blanks, some of the things she isn't saying, some of the things she skims over. This book is frightening, exciting, exceptionally well written, and I can tell why this is Shirley Jackson's most popular novel, at least from what I've seen. If you've read this book, I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments. If you read other works of Jackson and you liked another book better than this, let me know so I can check it out. But yeah, that was all I had today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a really good day.